Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to PixelHangover.com. We're going to do something a little different, something we've never done on the channel, something we used to do as friends a while ago when we had podcasts. One very successful podcast, one not very successful. But so what we're going to try to do is we brought everybody together, the three people that actually give a crap about Pixel Hangover. And that's Brandon, Jake, Kyle, and Nick, and Suckadong. But we're here to talk about what we all kind of want in the next gen Call of Duty, realizing that maybe this is a transition year, but what do we want to see, going forward, pushing that franchise beyond what it has become in our minds. We all have played a ton of Call of Duty the last decade, Brandon being, I think we can all admit, played the most with Modern Warfare 2 dominating your life for a number of months there. But, we just want to talk about, what needs to change, why it needs to change, what's the competition doing, and just kind of have a little roundtable about where we see the future of the franchise. And like I said, this is the first time we're actually going to have three of us on here talking about it. So let's talk about the engine, guys. What do we think needs to happen with the actual core, the heart of the series? Just go ahead and whoever has an idea, let's go with it.
It needs to be better. That's my vote is going to immediately that they need to make it better. We had that. We talk about the problem pretty often that Call of Duty has, especially Black Ops 2, and it's been a historically Call of Duty problem where we just talked about the doorway problem where you can see out of doorways, but you can't see the people inside of them, and thus giving the advantage all the time, always, to people inside buildings, which already a problem in any Call of Duty game, just encourages people to sit inside dark corners.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually that's when all three of us picked up Black Ops 2 right at launch, because we really enjoyed Black Ops 1, and boy, I don't remember it being nearly as much of a problem in Black Ops 1, but we all knew something was wrong with Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we all kind of revisited it multiple months later that we found a video online that just outright showed us exactly how bad it was. And now that I've seen that video, when I play, I see it all the time.
Yeah, it's like not even doorways that go into rooms too. It's also different elevations, like staircases and stuff. And it's just like, it's like a leg like they're compensating for a leg, or I don't know what it is, but it's definitely something that needs to be corrected for the next generation.
Yeah, I think the lag might have something to do with it, or an assumed compensation for lag. It's weird. It's really fucking stupid, first of all. But it's almost as if the character models take 2 to 5 milliseconds to follow up with what the controls are doing. So you don't just have the doorway or the elevation problems of not being able to see somebody that can see you, but you also have things where if you walk up on an enemy that's facing a completely opposite direction, they're facing a 90 to you on your screen, they're facing straight left. So there's no way they see you. That's dog tags. I'm going to get me a knife kill or run up and get an easy hip fire to the back of the dome. But that's not actually what they see. They're looking right at your face and have already scoped in, and they quick scope you in the brain. It's this weird delay in the character model reactions to what's actually happening in the game.
I do think I find it interesting, and we're not going to get into it deep, but how Brandon threw in the dog tag there. He's actually, or all of his thought process with first-person shooters and military shooters all transitioned over to Battlefield. You know what I mean? You think, I'm going to grab his tags. Well, that doesn't even happen in Call of Duty.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think that's kind of interesting because we all were huge I've always been a Battlefield fan, but as a group, we played a hell of Call of Duty, and Battlefield 3 changed us. It really did. And so it's hard to judge a Call of Duty without some of those things sneaking in. But yeah, you're right. The actual core engine is flat broken, and I don't know if it's going to get fixed for Modern Warfare 4 because we all know that's probably coming this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they saying? It's going to be called Ghosts. Modern Warfare Ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is that really what they're going with? I have not heard.
Well,
that.
Yeah, I think that's the most current name.
So they're coming up with a new one. That's going to be like probably the Ghost, and it'll be Ghost 2, and so they're maybe that's not bad.
We got a whole new 7-year franchise that's launching.
Well, you know what? If they had 3 teams or 3 studios working on it which there's 6 studios each probably. But if they had 3 studios, then we'd get one every 3 years from a team. That might actually produce better quality stuff.
Yeah. But I don't need a game every 12 months necessarily. I want to say something. It's funny that you mentioned nothing. How even when I'm describing Call of Duty, I can't do it without Battlefield influence now. I don't know that Call of Duty can be Call of Duty anymore without Battlefield influence. Because like you see with the shit they're doing with the new game, they already announced, or I don't know if it's been announced or if that it's leaked, but the way that every multiplayer map starts now is a la Damavan Peak in Battlefield 3. Like they're all dynamic events that start the multiplayer games now.
Right. Jumping
out of helicopters or sneaking in through bushes and stuff like that. And it seems, and then the changing of the dolphin dive to the slide, the ability to like fucking do barrel rolls like in DayZ. It seems like they're taking this more dynamic movement and map engagement from Battlefield and trying to make use of in the new Call of Duty, which they should do, because obviously that's what people like. It's just a matter of whether they can successfully blend it with that super Twitch type, fast-paced.
Right. And what's interesting, you'll get a lot of hardcore Battlefield fans that actually think that it's been too influenced by Call of Duty.
Really? Yeah.
And I understand that for the small maps, but
yeah, for the close quarters and stuff, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing with the beauty of Battlefield is, man, we can go in there and we could play whatever we feel like, whether it be huge vehicle maps, close quarters, or how many different types of game types do they have now?
Yeah, especially with the new DLC and stuff. I mean, we were even saying now it's a flight simulator too. Like it's 7 different games that all seem to be wrapped up. Whereas Call of Duty has historically pigeonholed themselves into this fast-paced Twitch shooter, and that's what the game's going to be. Just accept it, and that's fine. But I just think I think it's been so long without really interesting innovation on Call of Duty that it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, remember how good World at War was? Remember how World at War, like we all played the COD 2, we played
some 3.
Modern Warfare. We played all that. But then when World at War came out, everything changed. Like the addition of the new, like of the dogs and of the different types of kill streaks, and then really the tanks. The tanks and the less quick scoping and more like the snipers felt rewarding for some reason if you did it well. Yep. I don't know. Everything about that game to me was really.
Well, I mean, it was simplified, right? The weapons weren't over the top. I mean, it was like you had one main assault rifle for each side, and it really came down to more skill. I mean, and teamwork. And boy, some of my best memories of gaming was with all you guys and World of War. There's just no comparison.
Yeah, I mean, what I think, and Nick Reputace and I talk about it still all the time when we're playing League of Legends. If we like, the joke is to rush Bravo, which is to meet at the middle of the map. But that joke originated, which is not just a joke, but our strategy for every type of team game ever now. But it came from World at War Bog.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That map was that was the smallest map. All the other World at War maps were so big; they were bigger than everything else too. I mean, you think of because they had to have the tanks, and so then you had snipers that were sniping at distance as opposed to hip firing around a corner on you and stuff like that. So I don't know. To me, that was really the Call of Duty that understood. Hey, we could probably do a little bit more than put this just in flat corridor-based shooting.
And to be honest with you, though, they did it with even less. It was less flash. I mean, there wasn't so much crap going on. There wasn't 18 different attachments to your weapons. Yeah. There wasn't. It was simplified, but it played so well, in my opinion. And let's talk about what you mentioned, map design. I think map design is a huge issue. I thought Black Ops 1 had pretty good
Modern
maps.
Warfare 3 had the
Modern Warfare 2 maps weren't great. 3 were horrible. And I don't think Black Ops 2s are especially that inspiring.
They're getting better, but they're not. There's nothing.
The DLC maps seem to be getting better, but it's still the launch maps weren't any good. I mean, they were fine, but they weren't. Just the fact that Bog is so burned into my head.
How about CeeLo, man?
And CeeLo with the tank. I mean, that's like really impressive stuff. And that's if you think about shooters and first-person shooters in general, you almost don't remember the weapon. I don't remember any weapons other than maybe things like specific sniper rifles in games or Halo, energy sword and stuff like that. But even in Halo, you remember Lockout and you remember the games you had on Lockout.
Absolutely.
Just like in Call of Duty, you start thinking about the games and Hang 'em High, for example. And I remember Black Ops 1. Favela. Like that was
Yes.
a really cool map for them. And you're right, because it played with that that type of map design of verticality, having people where you could be in different places and shooting at different angles and stuff like that, as opposed to
It's more
really
controlling.
straightforward. Yeah, it
They
allows for
lost that
skill.
skill. Yeah, they
It
lost that
allows-
skill where you can map control and hold down an area now. It's all more run and gun, and people don't feel like there's a place to control anymore because there's multiple ways to get in and everything else.
Well, I think also spawns. I think that you're right, Jake. I remember Black Ops 1, how we, and at World at War, we controlled, and I understand where it may not have been super fun for the people we play against. I mean, in World at War, we had, 105 game win streak, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I understand that controlling a map to the level we did, you kind of broke it for a lot of other people.
Right, yeah.
But I can't help but be
There's
selfish
nothing,
and want that.
yeah, but
It's
no matter
a competitive game, so I mean,
That's
it's
the
like
thing. Jake, you're right. It's a competitive game.
Yeah.
In any competitive team game like that. I mean, even MOBAs like League of Legends. If you have a team that's organized and controls the map itself, right? Like controls the objectives and make sure they're positioned well, especially in shooters, especially in strategy things, then you should win almost every game.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't come down to, oh, I didn't know this guy could hip fire me from sitting in a corner where there's claymores at both entrances to the room he's sitting in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's miserable.
Mhm.
There's no fun I just don't see the fun that comes from having to deal with inactivity in games like Call of Duty. And I worry that the recent map design direction sort of breeds that. Even with Kill Confirmed, you still don't have people going out and getting those dog tags all the time. You know what I mean? You
Not
still
as much
have,
as they should, yeah.
No, like I end up with, if I play a game of Kill Confirmed, for example, last one I played, I went 15-10 with 31 dog tags collected.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. That means that everybody's just staying in corners, sitting, not moving, and I'm just running around the map by myself collecting things.
Yeah.
Something's got to get done about that map design in terms of being able to add control points and make it so that organized teams can win organized games.
I couldn't disagree anymore. I mean, I couldn't agree anymore. I mean, and then let's talk about scale. So we all know next gen systems are coming. I think Call of Duty is going to keep maps the same size. They're going to keep 18, total in the big maps, 16 total on 18 on the bigger game modes, 16 on the regular modes, and we're going to see Battlefield go to 64 for home consoles. So
absolutely.
So is that going to introduce like these people that maybe have always played Call of Duty and haven't really wanted to venture into the Battlefield thing, where it's only 8 more people, it really doesn't feel that great, but to be able to sit down in front of, go over to their buddy's house and they put in Battlefield 4 and there's 64 people on a massive map. I mean, it's different. We all know that, hey, with 4 people on it, with 64 people, you're not going to be able to control these games.
Yeah.
But, do you think they're going to have like a regular Call of Duty, say Ghost, for 360 and PS3, and then for the next gen, think they're going to change anything, or are they just going to up-res it? I mean,
it's just going to be up-res. I think this is going to be up-res because they want to keep that ease of entry still of where. Because Battlefield's so hard to get into. It is. So, I mean, like for most people, because it's like, well, there's tanks, there's jeeps, there's jets, there's helicopters, like all that stuff's so new to people, and the maps are so big, so there's more to learn. But with Call of Duty, it's so easy to enter into the match, play a couple rounds, and be done.
That is the beauty of Call of Duty.
Yeah, Halo 4 tried to do it and didn't do it as well as Call of Duty does. It's like they screwed up on that. But yeah, Call of Duty's will probably always just be the same as now, I guess, up-res it,
I think you're right. I think Call of Duty, I think even just the target market, the target demographic, the target players that they're looking for. I think Call of Duty looks for, 13 to 25, right? Because people that don't necessarily want to invest energy in terms of being really good at games. Like they don't take them competitively or seriously like that. It's just I want to get in, shoot people, and get out. The people that are comfortable playing video games at a negative kill to death ratio and a 0.3 win loss ratio and still play it every day. The people that I don't personally understand, like on a human level. I just don't get it. Whereas Battlefield is scaled a little bit, since I think because it's scaled a little bit higher in terms of what's required from team play, what's required from individual play because of all the different ways you can die from weapons, vehicles, and the like. that I think it's scaled higher in terms of age that it looks for. I think it sort of looks for the late teens all the way up to the people Ryan's age in their early 50s.
Well,
so
that's
just
it's 65 actually. 65.
I don't think Call of Duty wants to do that. Like I think Call of Duty is happy selling 780 billion copies a year to teenagers that they don't have to.
More. Yeah, there's always going to be crops.
Like you can ask any 47-year-old woman, hey, what video game does your kid want? And they'll say is Call of Duty because that's all they. I mean, that's what they know as this is the game that kids play. You know what I mean? And I don't know that it would be behoove them financially to go after the Battlefield market because I think once you play Battlefield, I mean you guys played Battlefield 2 for a while, and I refused. I flat refused and stayed in Call of Duty, and then you guys played what was it, Vietnam? Bad Company 2.
Bad Company 2 Vietnam DLC.
And then Vietnam, the Vietnam DLC came out, and that was the first time I ever played Battlefield. And I remember being in a helicopter over a bomb site, jumping out, parachuting down, planting a bomb, getting a triple kill. The bomb exploded. Like I think it's even on Pixel Hangover. I think that was one of like the first Battlefield videos that we ever did. And I remember thinking immediately, holy shit, how is this not what everybody's been doing? Like even just the animation of jumping or the animation of seeing your feet at some point is so heads and shoulders above what Call of Duty has done in the last 10 years that it's something. The scale has to change if Call of Duty wants to get the gamers like us, the people that are looking for really competitive, high scaling games where you can get a lot of replay out of Battlefield, whereas Call of Duty it's sort of you've got 3 or 4 different things you can do. Battlefield, you've got about 190.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's going to be more noticeable next gen because Battlefield 3 was mostly developed for the PC and this generation,
right.
So we didn't get all that awesomeness. So I think next gen, when Call of Duty is probably going to be about the same, it's just going to be upscaled. Unless they do something crazy. I mean, Battlefield 4 is going to be out there with 64 players. Yep. It's going to look awesome. I mean, then I think the next Call of Duty is going to. I mean, you're going to notice a change, I think, in what players are going to buy and the styles.
Yeah, or what exactly would I think there's enough people for both markets. There's always going to be new 13-year-olds, and they're going to keep coming to the market. But then I think as the general age of gamers gets older, because it's happening, right?
Yeah.
I think both franchises can exist and really thrive with their own groups. Because honestly, I don't know about you guys, I don't want to play with a 14-year-old on Battlefield.
Well, you'll be labeled as a pedo.
Well, Jesus Christ. But you know what I mean. I mean, I exactly what Brandon said. It's more of a mature thing. It takes a long to learn, and you can literally be a medic, get no kills, and be the MVP of the match. I mean, the ways you can play it is different. So there is a line there, and I think you're right. I think Call of Duty is going to keep it exactly where it is. Now, my thing is making it look better. Simply just making it look better. Will that be enough to sell, as opposed to?
Oh yeah,
you
absolutely.
Think so? Okay.
Yeah.
I absolutely think it's gonna be enough. I think so. We're assuming that Call of Duty is being that it's being developed for the new
PS4
the next gen systems, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But none of the leaks at all have said anything about increased player size in terms of what the maps can hold and what the matchmaking is able to do.
Correct.
And I don't think they have to. I mean, I think it depends. I think it's an interesting point, actually. It depends on how much greed, I think, Activision can muster towards what Battlefield is doing.
Yeah.
Because like if you see the new Activision R&D character models and character animations, they're next level type shit. They're gorgeous.
They look great.
They look phenomenal. So I don't doubt at all that the campaign of Modern Warfare or of Call of Duty Ghosts will be gorgeously animated and well modeled, and the environments might even be great. I mean, they're not going to be Battlefield environments, but they'll still be pretty. I have no doubts that Activision can make a very pretty game.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that they specialize in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't specialize in, and I think this is a company wide thing, because even if you think of like WoW and you think of the Vivendi Blizzard type of influence that they have, there's no innovation almost ever in Activision. You know what I mean? It's okay. This is successful. Guitar Hero, for example. So let's make this prettier. Let's expand it just a little bit. You know, add more songs, or let's make it so now you can duel, or let's make it so now you can play online bands with your friends in the 4th edition of our game. Finally, I think that's what they do. Whereas EA, to their credit, wants global domination, and and it seems like they understand to get that they had to make all console gaming mirror PC gaming, because the scope of it and the scale of having 64 people and the maps being so astronomically big, and you know, having Battlefield on the PC and the newest expansion having fucking 24 jets flying around with 8 helicopters is insanity.
Yeah.
And I mean, Battlefield was right with that marketing campaign where the phrase was only in Battlefield. Yep. You know, I mean, where Freddie W. did the thing with the little forklift and the C4 and all that shit. And they're right. But it's not like little things. It's so much that you can do in Battlefield that you cannot do in its competitors. I think Call of Duty has to play to its strength, and kind of get back to that Black Ops 1, but even more accurate for me would be the first Modern Warfare and World at War. Get back to that vibe of team play really mattering, and not just we have 30 new kill streaks that are all pretty much the same. There's explosives that fall from the sky,
that you can't get away from.
That you can't get away from at all. You know what I mean? So, whereas nobody cares when there's a helicopter in Battlefield. It's a pain in the ass, and it focuses all of your team to take it out, but it doesn't change everything. You know what I mean? I think they have to do something with that in terms of how overpowered camping can be to get a kill streak in Call of Duty, whereas you can't really do that in Battlefield at all.
Right.
The maps are too big and it's too well scaled.
And so so I think the general vibe that we're saying is, you know, in a way, go back to being simple. Do what made the Call of Duty really fun. You had 3 different kill streaks. You had it really came back down to skill and teamwork from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 and World at War and even Black Ops 1. Since Modern Warfare 2, they've really gone nuts. But who can argue with them selling more every year? I mean, it's really I think we do have a problem in that when we talk about it, us 3 have all kind of grown out of maybe their key demographic to a point, and maybe Jake's still in that fringe probably a little bit.
I love it. It's all about the Black Ops 2.
And we want it to be fun. We would love to bring back those days of us playing constantly, because it is a quick game to put in the drive, and you're in a game within 30 seconds. That is one thing I am looking forward to for next gen, for even games like Battlefield 4, to be able to get into a game quick. But so I think, you know, things like 60 frames per second, and they need to keep. I think they need to keep the size of the maps, but they need to go back to, as all of you guys have been saying this whole time, back to the basics, back to what made Call of Duty what it is today. Because I hear we know a lot of people that have stopped playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, and the people that I know that still play it play all the stripped down game modes. So like even in Modern Warfare 3, they would play. I don't remember what it was called, if it was Legacy or what. I mean, it was in. God, what were those things?
Is it hardcore?
Even
play hardcore?
Like Black Ops.
Hardcore.
There's something else. It's like I can't remember.
Like
it was like Black Ops 1,
I think it was
2.
Classic or something.
Yeah, like where the weapon pickups were limited, and like you couldn't there were no kill streaks. It was that kind of throwback game mode. And most of the people that I know that still play it either play hardcore, so people can't just camp and sit in corners. Like it's easier to get a camper in hardcore because it takes 2 bullets as opposed to 7, or however many for the weapon. I just think I don't know. You're right.
So I mean, I think that we pretty much covered where we love the series go, and it's going to be really interesting. This year is absolutely going to be bizarre.
This is a big year.
This is a year, man. I mean, not only are we getting 2 new consoles, the Wii U died, thank God, and PC gaming is just, you know, and the Oculus Rift. I mean, there's so many things coming that will absolutely change, specifically first-person shooters, for the next nearly a decade. I mean, we have had the 360 for 8+ years, so I'm excited. We all are excited. We can't wait to bring everybody out there footage, videos, opinions, everything of all the games coming this fall. And so we really appreciate everybody sticking by and listening to us, and we'd love to hear your comments. So
yeah, I'm curious because I know a lot of the guys that watch our stuff are kind of in that little bit of a younger demographic, might be a couple years younger than us, and still play Call of Duty pretty actively. I'd be interested to know what you guys think in terms of what Call of Duty has to do, or if they don't have to do anything. Like if it's exactly what it should be for the people that enjoy it, or if even the people that play it on a regular basis are looking for changes.
And with that, I think we're going to close this out. So, as Brandon said, throw your comments down below. We can't wait to hear them. So, thanks for checking things out. Subscribe, like, and all that jazz. And have a great day. And double XP this weekend on Battlefield, so get to it. I'm sorry, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Battlefield's on the mind. And also, yeah, you're right, Jake. New maps. What do they call Uprising?
Uprising.
On the 16th on Xbox, live first. So, there you go. Thanks for checking things out, and have a great day, guys.
Outro music.
And we just lost subscribers. Thanks.